two hitmen of the Indian government. Two assassins came from bushes and emptied two automatic weapons into the left side of his body, rattling his truck with roughly 36 bullets.
Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar.
Hardeep Singh Nijjar was the president of one of the largest Sikh Gurdwara Sahibs in North America.
I was shocked when I read that this person had been assassinated in Canada, Hardeep Singh Nijjar, and that when Prime Minister Trudeau came out and he said that it was very clear to him that India in some way had been behind that assassination. And I just found that to be extraordinary and to be chilling. My name is Joe Rubin. I'm an investigative reporter for the Sacramento Bee, and I've been doing this for more than 20 years. And so I just started with that basic question of curiosity, which is, you know, how could this have happened, and is this kind of repression happening here? Or was this just like an anomaly, something that was just happening in Canada?
We've seen disturbing allegations against an Indian government official for involvement in planning to assassinate a U.S. citizen in New York who was critical of the Indian government.
The Sikh activists who have been targeted by the Indian government in the last year or so in their transnational repression campaign are advocates for an independent Sikh homeland called Khalistan. According to the Indian government, these people are terrorists, but according to both the Canadian and American governments, it would be that India has not presented any sort of substantial evidence to have these people extradited to India under terrorism charges. And so India is acting as the judge, jury, and executioner by deciding it gets to call somebody a terrorist and therefore send a hit squad after them to execute them.
And in your testimony, you say, for too long, democracies have missed or allowed the actions of authoritarian countries inside their borders. Such a pattern of impunity has emboldened states to act abroad without fear of consequences.
Transnational repression is a use of influence, force, violence by those outside of the United States or outside of Canada against those inside the country.
Who are not necessarily truly opponents, but who they perceive as being opponents.
Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who India has strongly believed and given out evidence about as a Khalistani extremist and a designated terrorist. Who is this Hardeep Singh Nijjar?
I haven't seen any evidence that Hardeep Singh Nijjar was a terrorist.
From a Sikh perspective, transnational repression just highlights the atrocities which the Indian state has committed on its citizens within the Indian borders, and now it is not satisfied by having taken so much blood from the Sikhs in Punjab that it is now seeking it in the diaspora as well.
I didn't suspect that the work I pursued in a professional capacity at Vice News, which was award-winning and Emmy nominated and also won an Emmy as part of a bigger team effort, I didn't expect any of that work to lead to the outcome which it did for me, which was getting me banned from India. This trend of a crackdown on free press is so obvious and prevalent when it comes to India specifically. You see journalists being targeted by authoritarian foreign powers for their work and for trying to uphold perspectives that those big, powerful actors don't want to come out.
Well, let's make clear, legislation is only as good as the administration that's overseeing the legislation. There have been a lot of different solutions that are proposed. You know, Adam Schiff has brought forth TNR legislation. Dr. Jasmeet Bains, Assembly Member of California, has brought forth legislation, but none of these have passed. And what I think is important, particularly in a Trump administration, is that focusing on legislative solutions and all of our time organizing there may be the wrong path.
Transnational repression, which has been resorted to by the Indian state, has come upon us obviously as a personal threat to our safety, which I think is the duty of the respective countries to wake up and prevent such behavior.
Coming in here and trying to take away our American rights, that is completely unacceptable. And this government needs to do better to make sure that the fundamental values of American democracy are not undermined by people across the ocean from us. The first priority of the President of the United States is to protect the Constitution and the First Amendment that comes with that.